Good morning, everyone. So today, as we are aware of a topic, so it's about PLC logic designing. So before I start about logic designing, before I start with my webinar itself, see, there are no concretized way of designing a logic, especially in case of PLC, or in case of even if you're learning some programming language and try to program, or even learning some concepts that will help to design specific logic. If you're Meet Kumar, kindly just disable your video. I'm able to see you, please. Yeah. Yes, Meet, kindly disable your video. Yeah. Kindly please disable your video. So as I said, if we just going for concretizing our idea of designing a logic and finding some solutions for them, so it's not in the way that we will find a specific way in this in specific methodology for designing a logic based on certain facts. So there are various ways, you can call them. Some of them are empirical way. They are just depend on some statements based on experience you find out while designing the logic. Some of them are mathematical points. We can, just like your mathematical ways, you can design a logic based on that also. There are certain ways which are based on the type of languages you are using for programming. So we will be discussing it in depth at the end during this webinar. Also, we are going to focus majorly on the specific ladder language. Why is the reason so? We'll just come to it as our next slides comes in front of you. Let me just admit some of the participants. Yeah, thank you. So we'll start with our next slide. So before I go, it's about the introduction about me. As we are right now, you can contact me in case if you wish to, if you have some doubts, if you wish to join some new courses, if you are interested in more webinars, let me know in my mail, or just WhatsApp me at this number. It's no issue. If any specific topic. So this is the flow of our presentation. From here, we are going to discuss about the types of logic development methods. Before that, we'll go with some common problems that comes into the ladder language programming. Also, we'll see logic developments for the logic gates, significance of the truth table, and for the development of, specifically for the development of logic, mathematical equations and importance, how to form them, how to form a logic using mathematical equations. Also, we'll see how to structure your logic based on 3 or 4 or the number of inputs that you have, specifically based on the digital inputs. I will be focusing in this webinar, not for the analog ones. And how to design if you are given some standard operating procedure. So how to design a truth table based on that, and how intuitively you can use this method of designing logic in this way, helping you to find a better option rather than randomly searching or based on some empirical methods. Apart from that, we are also going to see some case studies and also the ladder logic and the logic representation in the various languages, which are ladder, FPD, STL, graph, and SCLs. And we'll see some webinar introduction at the end. So apart from that, yeah. So this is our today's content. I hope some of them are waiting in the room. So let me admit them. Admit them. So yes, so today these are the contents of our presentation. Hope you will find it more interesting, intriguing, and in case if you have any doubt, please let me know in the comment section, or let me just message in case if you raise your hand, if possible, or we can have a Q&A at the end. You just let me know. So I hope you may have, most of you may have got idea. Yeah, let me just So most of you may have an idea about ladder logic. If you are very much new to it, no issue about it. In our webinar during our first webinar, we have conducted what is the basic of, we had conducted a webinar on the basic of automation, which was specifically focusing on this ladder logic. Especially, we have discussed what ladder logic is and how ladder logic looks, the way of representing the things in ladder. We have also discussed about some of the circuits. So hopefully that was useful. If you are not attended that, and if you wish to attend, you may find our YouTube channel, that is at Himax Academy. You must find over there. There is already I have uploaded my presentation on the webinars link over there. You may find that useful in case if you want to have some idea about ladder. Before that I will go, let me discuss about the topic bit about this thing. So as we know, as the introduction, if you think about the PLC, they are from the early 1970s, and since then the prominent language, or I would say the major thing which was useful for our programming, or let's say a easiest way to program a PLC, was a ladder logic. Because of what was the reason for that? Because most of time there was a specifically relay based logic, and electrical engineers are more familiar to that. And apart from that, it is easy to represent a logic in terms of the same which you are actually using. For instance, if you are using relay, there are NO, NC and coil. If I make you if I make some concept that are relevant to your past information, you'll be able to learn and cope up with the new information very easily. So that was the only way, and this is the only how the PLC started. So in this way, the PLC has been progressed in certain ways, not only in the terms of I would say logic designing, but right now the computing power of the PLC has been increased. Various facilities since it has been started, there are various integrated facilities. If we specifically talk about today's logic designing topic, especially ladder is the most and foremost language. If you must know, you must have an idea of designing a logic in ladder. Right now, there was a time when the ladder was limited to certain, there was some restriction. You can't design every logic in ladder because of certain restriction. But now in the modern era, you will find various controllers are available, which uses ladder is not a basic language. It is more powerful and easiest tool which one can understand and even design a logic based on requirement. If you think about ladder logic, most of the ladder logic are in such a way that actually when the program is developed using ladder logic with the new anyone who is new to this specific logic development area, he will develop a logic based on ladder. Yes, that is most of the time it is correct, but problem is that he is not programming in a specific flow. So there is no structuring of the language, there is no structuring of his logic. In case if he's designing some logic right now, for instance, I'm giving some example, and if you're designing designing some program based on the ladder language, what will happen at the end if I give him some troubleshooting after an month, or I would say 2 months, he will find some difficulty in that if some problem occurs. It might be someone has changed his logic, or might has done something with it. So he might not be able to understand even the program structure flow, which actually he has made by himself at least. So now, specifically, if you go by this way, you will find that ladder is useful. But problem with the ladder is, if you are not structuring it in a specific way, you will find it's more difficult to understand ladder-based program than other language. But what if we can structure our language? So you will see right now the current advancement has been done specifically in to the ladder language. They are structured. PLC programmer right now more structured than a common single flow, I would say, a plain programming. So structured programming is right now the most of the scenarios requirement, rather than you would do a linear programming. So in structured programming, what we do, the language changes to a certain extent. It may change, but it is not that you must change. So it may change depending on what the programmer is used to with, or what he finds easy to program with specific requirement. But most of time what we do, the PLC, the ladder has been kept the same, only included some just like graph sets, sequential flowcharts, and stage programming are some of the methods which allow you to structure your logic based on requirement. You can just structure your logic, and you will find it is more intuitive and more actually easy to troubleshoot at the end if it is there is some problem in your logic itself. So this is the easiest way, I would say, to if you structure your PLC program, and also even though you are programming it in ladder, you will find it is more useful. Also, since then advancement in the PLC programming languages, you will find there are some of them languages are in graphical, especially ladder is a graphical language, and some of them are textual language. Specifically, if you are learning 8051 or 8085 microcontroller or microprocessor, you will find there are some mnemonics related to the, we would call it as a machine language. So there are the textual languages they are called, and the graphical languages are with the symbols, especially ladder, if you are knowing about it. If you go in specifically in this field, you will find there is some IEC standard 61131. The third part of that IEC, it has actually 10 parts. Out of it, the third part deals with the number of languages that PLC, or I would say any of this specific programming PLC device must have. It might be of any brand. So the international standards for this languages has been there. So there's a ladder, function block diagram, structured text, instruction list, sequential function chart, or you could call it as a SFC. So most of them, these languages are nothing but ladder, it's a graphical language. Function block diagram is again a graphical language. Two are textual language. The structured text and instruction lists are quite different. If you go for structured text, it's kind of Pascal language, a C language, if you think, if you are aware about it. And also, if you think there is instruction list, it is much based on some specifically mnemonics, and just like 8051 and all this. And the SFC, or I would say this language, is certainly based on a graph. Actually, it's a language called, prior to SFC it was called as a graph, and then it has been standardized as a name under this name called sequential function chart. So we have more information. If you need more information about it, you can just search on even the internet. It's quite often available. But I would suggest that if you think about designing any program based on any language, first of all, you must understand the rules of the language and then start designing. Don't jump directly into designing. Actually, I am sharing some of the, in this webinar, I will share some of this idea about how you can design a logic, especially if you are very much interested in designing with the ladder itself. Not to an in-depth, I would say, but to a certain, you will get an overview. Somehow you will be, at the end, you will be how should you address a certain specific problem with the ladder language. So you'd be having that idea. We'll see some example which will be programmed. The example will be one, and that same example will be designed in ladder, function block, structured text, instruction list, and the XFG, or I would say graph language. So we'll have an idea at least, so how these languages help us in designing a program, and also apart from that, how we are actually able to program this. So let us move ahead to the next slide. So if I see, before I teach you what are the basic things to be kept in mind while programming this ladder logic, let us see what are some common problems which we find with this. Specifically, if I find this, let me just wait. Let me remove certain things coming in front of the screen. I hope everybody is able to see. Yeah. If any difficulty, please let me know in the screen sharing. So I am with this common problems on the yeah. So as I said, there are some common problems that are identified in the logic written, especially in ladder. First of all, there is no industry-wide standard. So what I means to say, if you go for a specific brand of PLC, for example, let us think about Siemens. So if you go for the Siemens brand, you will find certain different kind of instructions that are present in the ladder while compared to Allen Bradley, or if you compare it with the Schneider or some of the brands called Mitsubishi and all those in this specific PLC. So what I mean to say, if you are designing some logic in one PLC, you can't copy and paste it in the PLC because it is not, because of the limitations, because there is no industry-wide standard for this logic syntaxes especially. So you can't just change, or you can't just copy paste one form of logic written in one PLC, another PLC, even if the language is ladder itself. This is also one of the limitation, because it's not only with the language itself, it is various other languages also facing the same problem. Apart from that, the program written by different programmer, the main of the common problem you will find after or while diagnosing a logic, you find the program written by different programmers are not the same for the same problem. Most of the time, even in my training sessions, when I am giving students, even the 10 students giving the same problem, there is a common, what the ratio comes like that. Out of them, 5 are such new types of programming methodologies into them, and the answer is coming especially all of them are right. Actually, all of them are right most of the time. But the problem is that someone's program is quite easy to understand and troubleshoot, but some of them are quite fuzzy to understand and even to troubleshoot in case if needed. So now these problems occurs because of the reason, because we are not structuring the logic, because there is no industry-wide accepted standardization specifically regarding to ladder language programming. That's why the problem occurs. But we can just, if you note down some problems, if you get the idea about the problems, you may come across certain concepts that will help you to actually make these programs more easier to understand by others and by yourself in the later portion. If you think about the ladder logic programming, if you are writing in very erratic manner, if you are not taking care of the structure or the sequences or the steps, what will happen most of the time, you will find your logic, if you're developing a logic and try to read it after some time, or after, I would call it as an year for example, because of some troubleshooting comes for it. So at that time, you will find it is difficult to read, understand, and even you will find difficulty to troubleshoot it. You will find when the ladder logic, right now the last term I'm using, this ladder logic, is not well suited to some of the current high-end automation application. Why it is giving certain limitations? Because if you want to mold your, if you're planning a programming in certain way, that it requires more complexities into it. Complexity, if I think about, for example, what kind of complexity it might be. For example, if you are going for, if you're programming some, I would say some dairy industry, dairy plant. If you go over there, you will find there are lots of sequences to be written and to be compiled at the end. So in this case, you will find if you write the program specifically in ladder, will there be any problem? No, there won't be any problem if we think about the current situation today. But problem is that sometimes the scan cycle of the PLC exceeded because of specific certain languages. Because if you want to program any PLC in any language, actually the PLC convert that program into the language it understands. That is basically a language that is, we call it as a machine language. So it converts that code into the machine language. Most of the PLC convert it into the STL format, and then it start processing it. So that is the only reason, if you try to program in some other language, you will find that there is a bit of that won't be at major. If you think about this thing at a specific broader sense, that is there any major change in the speed of processing of a program? If the program is very small, you won't not even notice that change, or I would say a lag of a processor. And if the program is quite big, parallel processes are running at the same time, it will create a problem. That is the only reason why the language has been evolved in the case of this PLC, and why the structuring has become important at this time. So as we move ahead, here we are going to discuss design of logic based on specifically of truth table and mathematical equation, and also we'll see how to form them. Specifically, I will deal with the discrete kind of logic, So I won't take some of won't take care today for this specifically related logic development applications. So I hope that will help you to understand that. If I think about what are the points to be considered while designing a ladder language for specific given sequence of condition, most of the time you'll find the basic and the foremost thing is you must be very much clear and define your control problems. You can't just randomize your problem or just read it once and just go before planning or developing any plans on paper itself. You must be very much clear before writing it in a software. You must be clear with the statement itself and define the control problem in such a way that you might identify all the control outputs, and the requirement of the second step should follow the first steps. So identify all the control output and the control requirement for each. So there shouldn't be anything such that you won't be able to clear out from the first step. So as soon as you start with the first step, the second step should follow to it, and the third step, as I said, you must be able to identify the output, and for each output what are the conditions of input. So if you are planning for a specifically related to discrete signal, I would say discrete means digital. So if you are planning for the digital signals, so in this case you must be able to identify what are all the input conditions, or I would say input condition combination for producing a specific output, active output state. And using these 3 steps, the 4 steps automatically follows. So in this case you must able to find all those conditions which are required for creating a truth table for the control output. So that is very much important, because apart from that, if you are unable to create the truth table, there is no way of structuring a logic in which way I'm talking right now. So if you want to structure your logic, if you find your answers in a very easiest manner, if you want to plan certain, now truth table is not a one go. There are certain things to be taken care while designing your logic. So I will just make you aware of that. Don't worry about this. So before we go for that, also as soon as you create a truth table, where the next step should follow, like forming a mathematical expressions. So how to form a mathematical expression? There is a technique called K-map technique. You can use that for forming your mathematical operations, and while forming your mathematical expressions, you might be able to form the logic based on that, which I will be discussing how to develop a logic just based on your mathematical expression with the help of some simple explanation on the gate logic. As you are aware of the logic gates, we'll discuss about that, and you will come to know about how to actually I will just admit some of them. How to actually devise a logic based on the mathematical expressions, and then we need to write as you said, it is write the logic based on mathematical expression and verify, and at the end you must identify and document each and every input and output, means just giving them name and labeling them to just for your further in case if you need some more information to be provided, comments and all those things should be given at the end. So I would say this is a common phase you may follow. It's a kind of, I would say, empirical method. This is not a proven method. This is not, I would say, accepted methods. It's a proven one, but it's not an worldwide accepted method. These are the steps which I have come up with my own experience, and with the experience those who are having specifically related to logic development, they might accept to this to a certain extent. Yeah. So we'll go for the next slide. As I said, we'll be start with this logic gate specifically. Now, right now we are aware of the logic gates. There is no such, I hope everyone is knowing about them, as we are learning in our even basic during engineering, and also at the time in the school level itself at 12th, I hope. So at that time we know about AND, OR, NAND and NOR. There are certainly XOR and XNOR are not most of them actually students, when they tell that they are not familiar with exactly the equation, or they might say how this gate works. So right now the truth table is in front of you, so you might be able to notice what are the this is a specific output. You would say this is states of input. It's a A over here, so this indicates, so A is over here, B is over here, So A, B are the two inputs, and this is the output. So this is the state of inputs, the combination of the inputs, and this is the state of output. So what is required? Similarly, all these logic gates are nothing but we could call it as a logical operation between the two inputs. Now we can do logical operation more than two inputs. It's not so we can do it more than two, or just in the way that right now the two minimum inputs are required for any logic gates. So now consider, please kindly, So now if you think about now, based on that, how we can create a logic based on this. So right now I think you are able to see this specific. I have taken these two inputs specifically now, and NAND, OR, NOR, XOR and XNOR. I have just made this in one table to give you the view, and this is the input specifically for the NOT. So right now so now there is, now just move ahead to the next step, and this is how you can see. Right now there are certain states you can find over. The method one deals with how you should develop a logic. So right now here you can see, let me just use some tools for drawing. So right now you can see, let me consider as an AND input. So right now you can see there is A and B at 0, 0, it's 0 again. So where it is 1, first of all find the condition where it is 1. So AND gate is 1 at over here. So we must consider those conditions. So it is 1 at this condition. If I am dealing with it, if I want to, right now here it is considered that if I consider AND as an A, we have two inputs, A and B. So A and B, this means 1, 1. If I say A bar and B bar, this means 0, 0. If 0, 0 is written, this means A bar. If 1 is written in the same column over here, this is a A bar, so this must be A for it. This is a B bar, this is a B for it. So similarly, if you want to write this in a specific way in the terms of ladder, the very next step you will follow. This is the way if you want to represent an ANDing. If you are aware of this ladder based programming, you would say yes, this is what we used to program with the AND. If you want to do ANDing of two inputs, you can follow this, and even you can get the results. So this is A which is following B, and it comes with the output called AND. If you are planning for the other, let me plan for the NAND. So how I can do? Right now there are 3 ones. So let me highlight those things. So let me raise this one and let me highlight this. So so we have right now our interest is on this one, these 3. So here you can see there are 3 conditions where the 1 comes. So what I will do, as I have done for this case, for the AND case, A and B, and this comes the AND. So I will similarly write this is A bar, B bar, and you get 1 for the NAND gate. So I won't be saving this. I can't tell this. I can't mark it as a 1 as an output of a NAND, because NAND has 3 conditions to be followed. So for this case, let me. So now you can see the answer for the NAND gate. So how I have written for the NAND gate, you will find this. The NAND comes just like A bar and B bar, and it is stored in certain memory. That memory is called the M1 memory, and then there follows A bar and B. So that's A bar, here it is A bar and B. A bar and B. So here it is A bar and B. So it's a M3, and here comes A and B bar. So A and B bar, here comes the M2. So you will find there are 3 different ones are saved into 3 different memory locations. As I know, any one of them is 1, NAND should be 1. So see, any one of them means ORing of all of them. So this is the method, you can just OR all of them and you will find the output for it. So this is the way, so you can find the answers for it. If you think for the second one, there are certain examples which are actually displayed over here. So let me just show you. So this is about the not. Not is quite easy, as A is there. If A is there, 1 is there, 0 should be output. 0 is there, 1 should be output. So if A bar, it's NC written with respect to this condition. I'm writing here. Yeah, there is something right now. So as it says very clearly, if it is 0, it should be 1. So NC is a very much common, I would say, a deduction you can make out of just looking at the truth table, if you are aware with the basic ladder formation. And with the NOR, now you can see there are, for the NOR, there is only one condition. If it is 0, 0 over here, yeah. So let me take this. So this is the only condition where it is 1. So for this, you have these two things. A0, B0. So this is A bar, this is B bar. So you would see A bar, B bar, and there is NOR, that's the output you will find. So it's quite easy to understand just by looking at the truth table how easily we can make any logic. The output, the required outputs can be deduced out from the all the input conditions, whatever, from where it has to be turned into 1. So for the very next one, if I want to say right now, it is given, okay, the XOR gate. So right now you will find, yeah, just let me find it, please. Yeah. So for the XOR gate, there are two specific possibilities. It is one at over here. So you will find it is one at over here and one at over here. For this condition, you have this two specific condition, and you can find at A bar A. So yeah, there are some again waiting. So A bar B bar, yeah, it is some XOR. Sorry, it's a XOR. Sorry to mark it wrong. Just mark it again. Yeah. So it's a XOR over here and XOR. So in this case, you will find. So if I want to just kindly please, yes, GBL, please don't use this in between. It's quite disrupting this flow. So these are the two things I would say. So these are the two cases where we need 1. So 0, 0. So A bar, B bar. So you can say A bar, B bar. It's M1 again. A, B. It's a 1. So you can say A, B. So it's a, again, there are some participants. Yeah. So it's a B. You get M2, and you will find in both the cases, if they are 1, our XOR should be 1. So I hope you can figure out how to design a logic based on the truth table directly. This is the method 1. This is not based on the mathematical method. It is just following the truth table, and you can design a specific logic. So if I ask you to design a logic for specifically this XOR gate, I hope you would be able to do it based on this to the input situations. So it is not a kind of rocket science right now for you. So it's quite easy to understand and even design a device logic based just on truth table and a certain condition. So this is the method 1, which gives you an idea just by looking at the truth table and deduction of outputs. Just where it is 1, you need to mark those conditions and just do the ANDing of those specific applications. Why I'm calling it as an ANDing, you can see when I say at the AND of 2 inputs, so it's a series. So you will find I was doing the series of 2 inputs, and where we are required, if any of them is 1, this output should be 1. So in this case, specifically in the NAND case, you will find if any one of the output is 1, all the output, this output should be 1. So in this case, yeah, please, yeah. So now this is what easiest method called the method 1, and then the very next method you will find this. So another method of specifically mathematical method. For that you would need some Boolean algebra. You would be aware of this Boolean algebra laws and rules, because if you are unable, because if you are not able to understand them, you won't be able to deduce an instruction, or you would say a truth table if you want to make it short or make it more compact. Specifically, if you want to make your logic more compact, it was a quite a big logic. You can see this NAND takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 rungs. If I count about the number of inputs, how many number of instructions, so each NC is each instruction. So if you think about this NAND gate over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I would say this is 3 and 3 is kind of 7 to 8 kind of instruction it is taking, so it's quite big. So if I want to reduce my instruction, so by reducing instruction, actually you make your logic more compact and you actually give less load to your processor, so your program is more fast in nature. For that purpose, mathematics is very useful. Boolean algebra will help you to go through these things. So I will just focus on the method 2, which will be using these all things. So for the method 2, we'll consider again the same truth table, but here we'll be actually focusing on the equations of the logic gates, not on the state of inputs. So the state of inputs actually help us to get to these equations. We'll discuss in depth, in detail, how to come up to these equations if you are unaware, if you are unable to get directly to an equation from a truth table, because we haven't right now discussed about how to get a mathematical equation from the given truth table. So we'll find it in the upcoming slide before we directly deal with the equations. So right now here AND means it's a kind of dot in between. So whenever I say AND, you will find it's a series of 2 inputs and the output it's very much clear. If you go for the OR, right now here is the OR. So OR means A or B. You can't call it as A plus B. If you call it an A plus B, this means 0 or 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. That is clear. But 1 plus 1 equals 2. So it is not a 2 again. So that's why I'm calling it so A or B. So 1 or 1 is 1. 0 or 0 is 1. Most of them are actually doing certain kinds of mispronunciation of these things, so they are actually unable to interpret the conditions. So in this case, you will find when I'm telling AND, it's a series of 2 inputs. When I'm telling OR, when I'm dealing with the OR, it's actually parallel of 2 inputs. And right now there are 2 inputs only. That is the only reason. If there are 3 or 4, it might be more than 2. So in this case, we are very much clear. If you are getting, these are the 2 fundamentals. I would call these are the 2 fundamental things that will help us to design our logic based on equation. So what else if our equation become more complex? Let us check. Now there is a NAND. NAND is written as A dot B bar, the whole bar. But using these rules in the previous slide, these rules, I have just I have mathematically solved this and I reduce it to this form. So by reducing it to this form, as I'm aware of the OR gate, OR means paralleling. So I'm doing the parallel, and bar means the NC, as we are discussed in the earlier slide. So bar means NC. So A bar and B bar, so that's the NC, and they are in OR condition. So you can just see, before that we have learned about the So before that, we have learned about the specific methodology of designing a logic based on AND and OR. Right now, this AND and OR actually help us to reduce our logic to this short from the logic we have done in our previous slide. The same NAND gate was of 10 to 11 instruction. Right now it is of only 3 instructions. So this is how compact I have made my logic, just based on the mathematical equation. And also if you are able to develop mathematical equation for any of them, right now in case of NOR, it's A or B, the whole bar. So I have solved those by using the De Morgan's law. You will find this actually reduces to this small. So right now my logic is again, actually it is more compact. So in case of XOR, right now XOR, it's A modulo B. So this is I have done with the help of my technique called K-map. The equation I have reduced the equation to this one. I will tell you for the coming process. So right now XOR is quite easy with only just these 2 rungs. Actually, this only, I would say, this 1 rung, you can just develop a logic using the at least 4 instruction, and you get the answer called OR. So it's quite easy to understand how the method 2 works. So we are getting 2 methods. One is based on our logic, empirical method, and one is based on our mathematical method. So how to design a mathematical equation? So that is our next thing. That's a K-map comes very handy in designing mathematical equations. So Karnoff map is a method we would call it to design any or simplify any Boolean algebra expression based on the truth table. So right now we are focusing on specifically switching circuits, or we would call it such kind of circuits which have certain states of input output based on the state of input. So how to design this? If this is a state, for example, if this is some we have deduced this truth table from certain example. So based on that, if you want to design it using the K-map technique, in this case, if there are two inputs, so A can have two states. Which two states it's possible for the A? There is 0 and 1. So these two states are possible for the A. Similarly, which are the two states that is possible for B? 0 or 1. It can be 0, it can be either 1. So right now, where the 1 comes in our truth table. So these are the, I would say, okay, yeah, let me use this eraser. Yeah. So now here, these are the condition where it is coming as a 1. So right now, these are the condition to which the output is 1. So right now 0 and 1. So right now 0 or 1. So in this case, what we will use? Where is the spot over here? So 0 and 1. So it is 0, it is 1. So in this case, this is 1 over here. So you will see this 0 and 1. And again, this is 1, 0. So A is 1, B is 0. So A is 1, so A is 1 over here, and B is 0, this is over here. So you will get 1 over here. Again 1 and 1. So A is 1 and B is 1, so you will get 1 over here. So right now there are certain rules of forming, I would say, these specific methodologies to design your equation. For that you need to be able to understand the grouping concept in K-map. I'm not going deep in depth about for that. Generally groups are 2 raised to n number, 2 raised to n. N might be a number from 0 to any up till we can do a minimum. There should be a group of, if you want to make some groupings in our table, so there should be, if there is maximum possible biggest group you should be able to make in your table. You should not make any group diagonally. So I'm making my group, so you can find that 2 groups are there. This one is common, sharing this both in both the groups. So based on that, if you find some, if I'm focusing on the group number 1, for example, I'm focusing on this group. So if I'm focusing on this group, what is common for that? It's a B is common, and what is uncommon? 0 and 1. So this will get actually eliminated, and 1 will be the so B will be the answer. You will get B directly over here. If I'm focusing on a group, this is vertical group. So over here, which is common? A is common, and 0 and B are changing. So they will get automatically, they will be reduced to 1 itself, and you will be remaining with the A. So you will get A and B. Let me just show you an example on paper how actually it is deduced. So that will help you. Just certain rules for it. So don't worry about it. I will just explain you in a minute how actually I have arrived to this thing. So this will help you because this is important, because if you want to, this is the key takeaway from this webinar. If you want to learn something from it, this is the most basic and very useful method which will help you to simplify your logic. So let me just share my screen with you for designing. So I hope you are able to see this screen. From this, let me just explain you a very bit. As there was our truth table, which was simple like this, a very similar truth table we had over there. Here it was A, here it was B. So now we had 1, 1 and 1. Let me write the condition. So as I said, the groups, if you want to make certain groups, what is the possibility? You need to make the biggest possible group. You can't make the diagonal groups. Diagonal groups are not allowed. So in this case, if I want to make a biggest possible group, the only possibility is I can make a group like this. And if I want to group this now, it is said that biggest possible group, the only reason is that if I make the biggest possible group, you will find that will help you to deduce your mathematical equation to more shorter. For this case, you will find if it is let me just define it. So in this case, if I consider this group, you will find what is common. A is common, 1 is common. 1 means A, 0 means A bar, 0 means B bar here, and 1 means B. So A is common. Again, it is 0, it is 1. If you write directly an equation for specific one, this is A, this is B bar. So you can write this A B bar, and for this one over here or in between, and this one it's A and it's a B. So what is common? A is common. So ultimately you will find A comes over here, B bar plus B, and you can from the law, as per the law, this will become 1. So you will find an answer A into 1, and A into 1 is nothing but A again. So that was my reason. The answer for this group is directly A. The answer for this group will be, as B is not changing, A is changing. So for this group it will be B. So ultimately for the output of this group, I would say this whole table would be A, or, and the group changes, you should use the OR symbol in between. This is a B. So this is how easily you can actually understand and how easily you can make a equation based on this. So I won't be discussing this is in depth. Just I want to introduce to you this method. You can actually apply. This is what we have learned in our basic engineering, but this is how it is useful in designing any logic. So I hope you have got an what I mean to say specifically related to this logic development, how this K-map technique is very useful. There are certain rules related to this K-map, so please make sure that you follow these rules before you want to deduce any equation, because this will allow you to properly figure and number it out, and how compact you can make your logic. So you actually have got that experience in the previous 2 slides, how I have made one of my logic very compact to the situation from where the NAND gets specifically, which I have shown with the based on technique. So we'll move ahead with the next. This was only the case of 2 inputs. What if we have 3 inputs? So before we go for the 3 inputs, the major thing when we are designing a table, now this is what the input table is. So this is certain situation, certain number of switches you will find, A, B and C. This is a set of inputs which is over there. I'm writing the states of input. Depend on that, this output has been done. As we will only focus over here, as from we have 2 methods, method 1 and method 2. We will use a method 2 to make our logic more compact, and the point of interest are these things which I am marking with this triangle. So you will see these are the things we need to keep in mind. For them we will be doing our planning and solving them. So how to solve it? So it's quite easy. So for the first case, let me just, so right now you can find it, there are 3 inputs, A, B, C. So how I arrange my inputs, A, B, and I have slashed it out to the other one, that is C. So in this case you will find there are 2 inputs, 2 inputs above and 1 input at bottom. For what we are planning for, we are planning for this specific output Q. So where are the ones present? So these are so right now the codes are written in very specific manner. You can say 0 0 0 1 1 1, not 1 0. So why it is so? Because we are using the gray codes. Here we are using the gray codes, and as per the definition, gray codes, if you want to progress in a gray code fashion, you can only change 1 bit at a time. So make sure you are only changing 1 bit at a time. So it's a 0 0, so you can see it's changing to 0 1, and then it's again 1 1. So no 2 bits are changed together, only 1 bit at a time. So this is the way how to arrange this table. You can arrange for more than 3, even for 4, even for 5, even for 6, depend on the requirement, but make sure you change only 1 bit at a time. So if you don't need to mug up all the gray codes, you can just form it out based on your specific logic development technique. Don't mug up all the things. It's very easy to understand gray codes, and there is no any specific pattern that this is the way only. You can just change this over here also. If you want to after this, if you want to write this instead of 1 0, you want to write 0 1 instead of you want to write 1 0, it is also okay. There is no problem with that. So right now I will just go and form the groups. So what is the possibility over here? See, right now this is the group I have formed, and these are the group I have formed. In this fashion we can also form the group. So based on this, if you find the solution, if you solve it with the help of mathematical technique, So you will find for the group 1, A and B are common. The C is actually changing. So we'll eliminate this. A and B will be the answer. And this for the, again, this other group, it's what is common. So you will find this 0 is common, but from above two things are changing. It's 0, 0 and 1, 0. So what is common? 1, 0 and 0, 0. So B, if we consider the second as a B, so this is a B bar over here and B bar over at 0. So both this is common. So that's why the reason is that B bar is written over here and it is ended with the C, that's a C bar. So that is the only reason B bar C and AB. So this is the answer for specific output. But what happens if you don't form this group very wisely? There is a possibility that you might end up with certain new equation. Your equation may not be that much efficient. So let me just show you an idea. So this is the another, the same, right now you can see there are same, but the grouping is different. Right now you can see the grouping is different. So what happened because of that? We'll find actually it is right now more, the answer is much more bigger than this, but both will have the same output. You will surprisingly, it is noticed to see, you will find both will have the same output. The program will behave in the same manner, but problem with the program is you will find this is what actually happening at the end. And if I form the group in another way, right now see, this one is independent at one end and this one is actually grouped over here. It was certainly different from the above. So right now it is ending with the new equation. So this is how the equation changes based on how you group, but the output doesn't, the state of the output remains same. So when you are going for 0, 0, 1, you will get 1 only. So don't worry about it that your output is actually, it will change. So no grouping only help you. If you do grouping in smart way, you will end up with a smaller equation, and that will make your effort very easy to understand and also to compact your logic. So if you are optimizing your logic, K-map is useful for that. And now this, I hope up till now no doubt must be there. If there are certain doubt, please let me know, because the coming concept is far more, I would say, rather than this all basic techniques. So any participants, if they have any doubt, please let me know, so I may or may progress further. So I hope if any doubt, please raise your hand or just let me know, just unmute yourself and ask me in case. I hope everyone is okay. Yeah? Okay. So should I move ahead? Okay. So I'm moving ahead with the new concept. So right now the concept is going to be much more advanced other than this. So I'm considering this as an example. Let me just. So I'm considering this as an example. So now let me explain you what the example means and why I'm actually focusing on this example, because I will be writing this same the logic for this example in different languages, and we'll discuss about this, how the language help us to understand and to formulate a logic in very easiest manner or in difficult manner, depending on what the logic actually language is provided to us. So this is a one sequential logic control problem. Here you can see there are 3 valves over here, V1, V2 and V3, and there is motor in between. So you can find it as there is one container over here, a V1 and V2. Actually there are 2 different juices, they are coming over here. When the tank is filled, this is a blender, I would call it as an agitator. It rotates for a specific time, and then the tank is done, the tank is emptied through this V3. And this sequence is automatic sequence. So only the thing which I have not mentioned over here is the this, I would call this the start and stop of a sequence. So I would be adding the start and stop of a sequence while designing a program. But before that, let us understand what the question means to say that it is written on one sequence over here, which suggested you what will be the flow. So while designing the logic for this specific tank, these are the sensors L0, L1 and L2. So these are the inputs for us, L0, L1 and L2, that will give you the status of the tank. It is full, it is half filled, or it is empty. So in certain case, if it is empty, then what steps should be taken, there are mentioned at the bottom. So right now I am planning to execute this logic is, as I said, logic before writing any logic, or before writing or planning any ladder, it might be any in programming any language, you must understand how to devise how to plan a logic. So before planning, what I'm considering, the tank is empty. When the tank is empty, let us start with the V1. So here the sense level 0 means when sense level 0 is 0, there is no signal from it. Valve 3 must be closed and V1 must be the open. So when V1 is open, it should fill the tank, and when V1 is open, you will find L0 will be there and then L1 will be there. So right now, slowly the liquid will start filling from here. So you will find this liquid will start from here, as I will draw this thing. Yeah. So liquid will just start from here and it will fill up till here to a level, and then it will start from here and it will fill up till here. So there are 2 points. So in between, when the V1 is filling the tank, it will fill up to this L1 point, and when my V2 is filling the tank, it will fill the tank up to L2 point, and it will start from the level sense level L1. So when L1 is 1, V1 will be closed and V2 will be open, and this ultimately will be ending up to the operation of this motor. When the motor is on, in this case, when the motor is on, you will find that it will start for a specific time. So we need to agitate the process, and after certain timing is been done, for example 10 seconds, and after 10 seconds the motor will be off, and again the V3 will be on, and up till the sensor L0 goes to 0, this valve will not be closed. So you might have understand how the process is. There is some up sequence, there is some down sequence. So right now I am planning my program in this way that there is some up sequence, for example, and there is one down sequence. So you must understand this is what my planning is. So up sequence, and again there is a down sequence. So 2 plannings are there, and I am merging the 2 plans. I am trying to formulate a truth table based on my observation. So let us go for the truth table. I hope you're ready with it. If any doubt, please let me know in case, and please unmute yourself or raise your hands in between if you need some yeah, you can even, yeah, okay. So now this is a truth table based, so you can see it's a quite big truth table. I am actually representing you. So as I said, let me move back. There is no condition for start and stop. So right now this full truth table has been made based on the states of input and what should the state of output should be. Right now there is no case of timer in between. That was not mention of timer in between. It was a measure time written over here. So depending on my observation, this was the need of the this should be the truth table to be made to understand the sequence and to program it. So right now you can see and observe. So from very beginning, I am writing all the sequences of the inputs, outputs, and what should be the output. So here all the inputs are there, here all the outputs. So at the beginning, if start is pressed, what should happen, and I am also giving the name to the steps. Step 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 10 steps I have divided. So in between, what are the common steps, and some of them you can find why this logic is difficult to make in one go. So let us show you certain steps, so that will help you to notice why it is problem to get the similar answer over here. So yeah, so now you can see this is the state, and this is again the state. There are these 2 states, and they have different outputs on at different time. So you can see if you are trying to get your answer with directly applying the logical method, in this case you won't be able to find, and that is for sure you won't be able to find because of this reason, because they are following the same states of input but the output is different. And here it's a V1, V2, and it's a V3. That is the fundamental problem comes when you are planning a program. You find there are some common steps that comes in between, and they have some different output. So in this case, how to program it? So to program it, what you should do, you should actually not make this this states of input and output. What I have made over here, this truth table, is to just show you what is our requirement. Is it our requirement directly to satisfy from this truth table? It is certainly not. It is certainly not. You won't be able to understand this whole, you won't be able to come up with an answer just by going through this truth table. Your program, your planning should be much more dynamic, much more easy to understand. So in this case, please, I will just go to the next step. So just wait, I will just go to the next step. I will just erase this whole thing. So you might have understand what is the fundamental problem with this truth table. And this was the truth table which was made based on the planning what we have discussed over here. So what I have done, what my planning was, let me just discuss you my planning, and then I will move ahead to the next one, because that is important to understand, because you will find it gets much more difficult in the coming in the coming slides. So in this case, as I progress, this says when start is 1, stop is 1, and you will find this V1 is on. And similarly, when there is no input from the level switch, when the all is 0, then start command is already been given, so again the V1 is on. So you can see the same problem rises over here. Yeah, let me just note it down. I'm focusing on this because of the certain reason. You will find there are two different same states, and you will find input is behaving certainly different. So why it is so? So let us understand how to. So this is what the step requirement is. So that is the only reason I have stage wise I have divided the steps. So this is step wise. So I have made this thing possible. So you can see how the state goes ahead, and this is all about where the V1 is 1, V2 is 1, and V3 is 1. I hope you are able to understand this truth table and where the timer should be on. So this is when there comes the crucial case in between. When doing the states, So right now in between, you'll find there is a step, you get V2, and then there comes this step where all of them are 1 and you get motor and timer on. When the motor and timer is on, what should happen? After that time, what you find, there is a timer done. I have written one bit called timer done. This steps comes into the picture, and your V3 is operated for this 3 process. So you can find the entire up till this process, your V3 is working. So depending on this, so you might have understand how the program is planned and how the steps which I have decided, which I actually discussed with you in my previous slide. So this is what it will look in the terms of truth table. I hope you are able to correlate this slide and this truth table. And this is what this shows that from where we have to jump to the step after the step has been done. So to plan it more efficient way, in more easiest way, what I have done this thing by using, you can see instead of using start and stop, I have created one start bit. So this is how easy we can make. So instead of focusing 2 inputs right now, I have converted it into 1. So when I am pressing the start button, I will get the start bit. So when the start bit is 1, what should be my state? What will be the state of my input? So it is right now 0 0 0. So in this case, V1, V2, V3, motor and timer. So V1 is 1. Again, when start bit is 1, L1 is 0, L0 is 1. Sorry. You will find this should be 1 again. This is written. This V1 is 0 actually. It is written wrong over here. And again you will find this V1, V2. This again start bit L0 and L1 is again it comes, and you will find the state of this input. And when all them are 1, this is what my demand is. So before the timer starts, this is what my planning is. So before the timer starts, this is my planning, and after the timer is done, this is my planning. So this is how I bifurcated my planning, and after the V3 is on, this is my planning. So this is how you can plan your I would say this truth table. Instead of making it as a 1, you can plan it in this way. So I hope you have understand how to plan your truth table, not in the one way, not in just the way it is from the input and output. Even you can plan according to your program. Right now it's look more simpler than the actual I would say my truth table. So based on this, you will find now how the V1 is deduced with the help of the techniques which we have discussed in the previous slide called K-map. From here the complement over here L1 and L2 indicates bar over there. So it indicates there is a bar on L1 and L2. So this is a bar, and this is a L0, L1 and L2, and this is V2. So that's a L2, it's a bar again. So it's a for val 2, it's a val 1. M means motor, T means timer. Again V3. So V3 has two conditions to be on. It's a timer done bit L0, L1, L2, or V3 is on L1 and L2. Why the two conditions? One is from this condition where the V3 is 1, and again is from the bottom condition after the V3 is on. So we have two conditions too. So this is how we can smartly execute and use this method called of truth table. So based on this, the ladder has been made. So these are the equations. So V1. So start bit L1 bar, L2 bar. So let us see. We need to program first the start bit. So for the next step, see, this is how this ladder logarithmic programming has been done. So this very shows the start bit comes in this way. This is one a simple latch which we have learned in the previous webinar, how to program or how to form a latch. So we have learned from that. So similar thing has been used over here. It's a stop, start, and it's a so stop is an NC type of button. So it will just give you the signal. Once you press the start, it will just start this start bit, and you will find this is over there. And as soon as the start bit is 1, what is our logic for V1 is start bit L1 bar, L2 bar. So start bit L1 bar, L2 bar. Right now this V3, from where this have come? This have come from the while executing the program. It was not in the planning prior because the planning was not of a concrete level. It was not of that much. I have not taken some certain conditions in between. So while executing the program, I have found there was certain the program was not behaving in the manner which I wanted. So for for planning that, which I have found, there was not interlocking of the wall. So I have done some interlocking in between. So certain interlocks you will find in between, which come after the executing this program. So after this wall V3 memory means it's nothing but it's a wall 3 actually. It's a wall memory 1 means it's a wall 1 actually. So just go like this. It's a wall 3, it's a wall 1. So in this case, you will find start bit L1 bar, L2 bar. So I hope you are able to understand the similar thing. V1 start bit L1 bar, L2 bar. So sorry, even you can find this conjunction over here. The similar thing, this is from the after deduction you get this thing. Right now this is what not written in my program. So I hope you got this thing. So yeah. Kindly please don't write anything. Yeah. So after that there is a planning for wall 2. So let us check what is the planning for wall 2. Start bit L0, L1, L2 bar. Start bit L0, L1, L2 bar. You can find this thing. So right now there is some question in between. I think there is from Parth Shah. It is telling that stop bit should be NC. Yes, Parth, because this is a PLC input, it should be NC in case of hardware. It's as I have mentioned over here while I was discussing. This stop is an NC button in the field, which I am taking NC in my PLC, NO in my PLC. In fact, specifically why it is not clear, because you may not have done that practice or practical based on this kind of, if there is an input, if the input is my NC type, and if I am taking the NC of that input in my PLC program, it will behave in a opposite manner. It will not behave in the way I want, because it is NC in the field, so it will give continuously input to my PLC. So if I take NO of that input, so it will be on forever until I press the stop button. It is like that. So it is actually NC in the field, not in the logic. So I hope you might have got the answer that it should be NC in the field. It is NC in the field, but NO in my logic for that reason. Don't worry about it. The upcoming webinars will be dealing more in detail about that. So I hope the very V2, how the V2 has been planned. And yes, Zumil has raised his hand. Do you have certain questions, Zumil? Please ask me as in the chat, or you may just yes, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So right now, it's a V2, and then now then there comes the planning for the motor and timer. So for motor is start bit L0, L1, L3. So L3 not, it must be L2. So start bit L0, L1 and L2. So you'll find this all three comes over there, and at the end the timer is started. So timer and motor both are started, and after starting both of them, what is our planning? So it was very easy for planning this. When the timer and motor should start with L0, L1, and this should be L2. This is L2. In this case, you will find all of them, the timer has been started and the motor has been started. This is a timer of 10 seconds, for example, right now in this case. After that, there comes a planning for V3. V3 has two parallel flows. One is from timer done bit L0, L1, L2, and another is from V3 itself. See, actually V3 is on because of V3 itself, L1 and L2 bar. So let us see the planning, how it has been done. So the first is, right now there was a timer done bit, so there is not a possibility on the software I was using, it's a TIA portal. So in this case, yeah, it's a Dhrumil Nanak says, why only NC is taken in hardware? Same way, no also. And we'll address this question, Dhrumil, at the end. I will just answer this question. It's quite common question, commonly comes. Yeah. So now, So now this is what we call it as a network. You can follow this motor. I have taken not timer done bit when the motor is not working. So you can find this when the timer has been done, the motor will not work. Similarly, that's why I have taken motor is not working. L0 is there, L1 is there, L2 is there. So timer done is, instead of timer done, I have used motor. Motor is not working. L0, L1 and L2. Because of why I am not taken timer done, because of my specific software I am using, which doesn't provide, the timer doesn't provide timer done bit over there. So because of that reason, I am using motor when motor is not working, L0, L1 and L2. So you are able to relate. Motor is not working, L0, L1 and L2, and after that valve 3 is on. Again, there is a parallel branch in between where you can find V3, L0 and L2 is not working. You will get, so this was OR. That was a purposefully written OR, V3, L1 and L2 bar. So you will find this V3, L0 and L2. Yeah, let me just move this window. And L2 bar. So that's the L2 bar. So I hope you might have understand in this case how I have planned this thing. So from here we have planned to this thing, which was not, we are unable to deduce because of certain conditions which I have told you. The certain condition raises in between, which is not useful for me to design a logic. So I have just made my truth table this way, and then I'd come up to this equation using the K-map, and then I made my logic, and after working with it, I come to know that I have not applied the interlock. So while testing the logic, I found this two things. One is this over here, and other is this at the bottom. So the two things which I have come up after writing the logic while testing the logic for my specific desired output. So I hope this is clear up till now. So right now I will not discuss in depth about various languages. I will just give you certain tips what I have taken care while writing or logic in different methods. So I hope up till now it is clear, and this is up till here the main concept has been done. Right now there will be some complementary, I would say some showing you the same logic based in different languages, and how the planning I have done for them. I will just discuss a bit short about it. If you have any question in this, please raise your hand or kindly ask in the chat. I will be moving ahead with my next part. So I hope this is what easiest way. Now if you want to program in function block diagram, if you want to make your programming much more easier. So in this case I have said from block, this is what the easiest method is. You can come to you can just learn this method and then you deduce this. Now how I get to this method, there are certain methods to how to you can reduce your truth table from here to here that I have not discussed, but once you get to this, you can easily get to this answer. And if you're able to draw the logic, if you're able to make a logic in ladder, you can make your logic in function block diagram. So function block diagram actually indicates the gate in itself and or not XOR. So this is nothing but the ORing of start and start bit. This is ending with stop and this two things. The similar thing which you have done. This is start bit and it says similar. I would say if you think about the V1, start bit and L1 bar and this is L2. So let us check. See at the bottom over here, start bit and L1 and L2. And this was at the end, as I said, after deducing the thing, I found out that interlock must be there. So this is the extra thing. But up till now, we can actually understand how actually ladder and FBD are related things, and we can understand it just by if we know about ladder, we can go for the FBD. It's a kind of language represented in the forms of gates. So you're viewing actually the same logic but written in different language. So I hope you are able to understand and even correlate how I have made. This is just based on the truth table. There is nothing much done into this language. It is just a representation of, instead of ladder, I am using the gates to represent my logic. Okay, so I'm moving ahead with the next one. I'm moving ahead with the next one, and in this case, it's a statement list language. As I said, there are some mnemonics. So it's a for and O for or. It's like this, and and means and not. So similarly, if you are writing some bar, in case if you want to write L1 bar, so I will write and not bar and not L1. If I want to write, for example, L1, I will write A. If I want to write L1 bar, I will write and not L1. So this is the method. In this case, how to you can relate right now in a short time I can just explain you this thing. But for this language also, if you are able to come to this equation, you can actually write your program in this format also. And after there are certain advantage of writing in this language also. You can actually there are various instruction in this language which can make your program more easy. But right now you must understand the truth table, conversion of a truth table using a K-map and coming to a mathematical equation helps you not only to understand or make a logic in ladder, but also in FBD and also in statement list to a certain extent. So I hope. So this says that A for and this is what for start bit, and this is done for the val 1 over here. Val 1 memory or val 3 memory is nothing but val 1 actually memory. I'm writing just this output over here. And then here comes the again for the val 2. You can even find the comment written over here. It's for the motor, when the motor should work, and at the end this is for the val 3. So I hope you are able to see this. So this is what motor, and yeah. So this is how the logic, the way you see the logic right now is changes. Even the troubleshooting changes with the language itself. So I hope why I am focusing on ladder, because of this reason. Because once if you are not able to understand program in ladder, you will be not able to understand in FBD, and you won't be able to understand in STL. Ladder is very base language, as I have said, and other languages help to understand, or I would say work in more flexible manner once you understand logic designing in ladder. And just for information and representation purpose, it is not if you want to learn these things, they will take again I would say a day, not a day but a days to learn to understand this language first of all. And but this is very easy. I have written and not is and, it's and not, it's and it's or. So brackets indicate there is some oring of the things. So this similar, the last fifth network over here and the fifth network over here, is the same. There is no actually change in this. It looks like this in ladder and it looks like this in my STL language. So both are same. Don't worry much about it. So I hope you have got a basic idea how the logic looks. And the very second is, and after that if you want to structure your logic, structure your logic in more easiest way, and there is no need to learn much about in this language. There is what we call the graph language. Actually, you have seen this. There are steps: step 1, step 2, step 3. Similarly, in my initial, you have seen I have divided the program in steps. There was some reason why I have divided it into steps, because I was thinking if I was planning according to my graph language, what should happen in specific step I will program. And graph language help us to create actually it gives you a default interlock in between. If the step 2 is actually executing, step 3 and step 1 will not interfere. Not after any step will interfere. So if you have certain condition like this, specifically I have said related to these conditions, they will not interfere in between. If you want to, so now these are the conditions. They might interfere in between if you are writing in one ladder in one go. Graph help us to actually structure our language, structure our program in certain way that it might give us a default interlock in between. So yes, let us just go and directly see how we have planned. So this is from where I have come to the step, and just go to the next. So this is step 1. In this step 1, what should happen? Before the step 1, I have written one one permanent area over there is present in this logic, where I have written if someone presses the stop button, the whole logic should resume to the step 1. What is step 1? Step 1 is given some transition in between when from step 1 to step 2 to be done. I have said when step 1 is active and the start button is pressed, one must go to the step 2. So this is what the transition in between we can write. Once one go to the step 2, this is what the logic written in the step 2. This is this is not a different language, it's quite easy language to understand, but it indicates that while should be on, while 1 should be on, and from transition it is written if while 1 is on, then it should transit to my step 3. So it should transit to my step 3, and once it is transited to my step 3, so there are written two things. If my while 2 my while 2 should be on actually. So my while 2 should be on in the step 3. Why it is reason? Just let me go to the previous. So in step 3 you can find while 1 is on again, and the transition is written if my L0 is on over here. Let me just take a laser from my. So just wait. So over here, this is a transition condition. Once this transition has been done, it will come to the step 4, and step 4 says my V1 should be on, and again when L0 and L1 both are on, it will transit to my step 5. Step 5 says V2 should be on. So while 2 is on, while 1 is off. So again it will automatically, when the step is active, the while 1 will be on. This N qualifier indicates this while 1 should be on for the step 4 itself, and then it will come to the step 5. And then it will, and there is a condition from transition from step 5 to step 6. If all the levels are on, then it will go to this step 6. Step 6 says my motor should be on for 10 seconds. Once the motor is on for the 10 seconds, it is said when the motor is not on, means in this condition the motor will be on for 10 seconds. When the motor will be off after 10 seconds, the transition will automatically go for the step 7, step from step 6. So 6 to 7. So in this step 7, it is said that while 3 should be on, and if you want from up till where while 3 should be on, once the L0 is not gone. As I said, when L0 is 0, the tank is completely empty. So while 1 should be on automatically. So once the tank is completely empty, this will be the signal, and from here we will find this S3. S3 is the step 3. What is the step 3? We will find this is the step 3. It says while 1 is on. So it is given an indication that from step 7, from step 7 to step 3, it will directly jump. So this is how the graph actually help us to design our logic in more meaningful way and to understand in very easy way. Even we can troubleshoot in this with the help of this language. It's not that much hard to learn graph, but we must know certain rules of using graph. So there are certain rules of every language you must know before designing or planning a language, before designing and planning a program. I hope you have understand this thing. So let us go for the. I hope if you have any doubt, please ask me in between by just unmuting you. If you you can unmute yourself. I hope you know how to unmute yourself. Or in case you can just give me in a chat. You can just raise your doubts in the chat. Now I hope you're clear. Now the language which I'm going to show you, it's quite different. Actually, as I said, if you want to plan your logic, you must understand the basic rules for the language. If you understand the basic rules of any language, it might be any language. Even it's not a programming language. If you don't understand even the rules and grammars of English, you won't be able to communicate. Similarly, if you won't understand the rules and grammar of the programming language, you won't be able to write the language or design a program in a language. So the other language is the structure control language. Specifically in the Siemens we call it as SCL language. It's similar to the instruction list. Specifically as a structured text. The structured text is nothing but it's a Pascal based language. Just like in case of C language, we can relate it to somewhat to an extent. So while planning in this language, what I have done, it's a different from now up till here. Ladder helps. Up till here, our truth table helps. I would say up till our this many languages, this truth table are useful in ladder, in FBD, in STL, and in graph. But if you are planning, yellow window, just wait. I hope the yellow window is not visible right now. Okay. Yeah. So right now, this is what. So this is how it helps. So up till now, it is clear. Up till where truth table can help you. So up till graph language, truth table can help you, but to a certain extent, truth table can also help you, but not in a very straightforward manner. You should be smart enough to use it specifically while using structure control language. This language helps us to write any equation in very easiest manner, rather than in a complicated way. Specifically happens in ladder with the ladder. If you are writing some rules, this very easy language to write your language in structure control way. Even you can most of them prefer in STL or in ladder, but very rare you will find languages written in graph. FBD also is preferred one, and some of them are writing languages, some of them are writing in SCL, because the reason is that SCL takes very I would say it takes very less space in the controller actually, while specifically if you are writing or running some loop inside our logic. For example, if you remember in C language, you used to run loop, for loop or kind of loops. You can easily run certain kind of loops in this language. If you can't, it is not easy to program a loop in a ladder or any specifically in a FBD. STL you may with the using jump instruction, but in this case you can use very easily the loops. So in this case, you will find how I have programmed. There are written the four. Actually, I have made the 4 cases. You can see the case 0, case 1, case 2, case 3, case 4. So to have an idea over here, so understand, case 0 says val2 memory means val2 exists. Val2, val1 and val3 all are false and start bit is false. So 0 says if case 0 is active, this will be the condition. If case 1 is active, val1 is true. If case 1 is active, in case 2 is active, val2 is active 1, and when case 3 is active, my motor memory is, or I would say motor is on, and when case 4 is active, I will say my val3 is on. So the four, I have just divided my actual input, my actual requirement into 4 cases. The reason for the 0th case is you will find while the programming. While the programming, I found there is a requirement of this case. When I initially started, I only thought about the 4 cases, 1, 2, 3, 4. The case number 0 was added later. So in this case, how to do it? It's very easy. So in this case, there are, as I written, you can write if and else statement. So I have written with the if there is start or start bit or start bit and stop. So the first query, how to start bit. In the ladder, we have done this same thing. The similar thing I have done in the SCL. So this is where the start bit is true. And then I am inquiring, if start bit is true, then case 1 should be active. What the case 1 is? Where the val 1 is on. So you can see val 1 is on in the case 1. So val 1 is on, and it will remain on until and unless it shifts to the case 2. So when it will shift to case 2, start bit L1 and L2, L0 are there. It will automatically shift the case to the case number 2, and case number 2 will make while 2 is on. And if start bit L0, L1 and L2, so you can see and is written in between. So actually the truth table help us in certain way, but not in a very direct manner. We are planning a logic in a very different way in this exam, in this specific language. So you can find this thing over here, and then case 3 should be active. When the case 3 is active, the timer is on, and as I know the timer is on, the motor is given as an input to the timer because the motor will be on for the case 3, and the timer will be on for the 10 seconds, and there will be some memory bit that will be 1 after the timer is done, because it's a T on delay timer. So after 10 seconds the timer will be 1, and after that memory bit, motor memory and memory bit means after the time what we'll find, motor will be on, memory bit will be on, or memory bit 0. Now memory bit 0 is nothing, but it is written in between over here. So if the condition occur, motor memory and memory bit, then case 4 will be on, and again the case 4 is on, memory bit 0 will be true. Why it is written in certain manner? Because the logic executions happen in this way. So for that I need to hold this condition for a while. That was the only reason for holding this condition. I have written this. So memory bit will be 0 up till where if L0 is 0, means once the tank is empty, my V3 is on up till the L0 is on. When the L0 is 0, what should happen? This will be 0. So again what will happen? It will not go to the case 0 unless if the start bit is done 0. It will move to the case 1 directly because start bit is 1. Here again no one other case will be activated in between. You will find this logic actually, if you are able to write these codes in your you can just copy these codes and write it in Siemens software if you have someone, and you will find your logic will work in this similar manner. So these codes are all verified and tested. You can even write them. So this is how easily you can find. So this is how, that's why the language is quite different, and this is how the languages help. So I hope to a certain point you might have understand why the languages and how to structure your program, why it is important to understand the basic problem relevant to that. I hope the graph you might find out some ladder might be easiest way. I find graph is also one of the good method if you are able to understand graph language, and STL is also there, and SCL is the another one. So these are the things. Apart from that, if you have any doubt, please raise your doubts in between. If you can, I just give you a time of 5 minutes. If you have some doubt, please let me know in a comment in the chat section so I may answer. So I hope this is all done, and after that I will just show you now what we are doing. Actually right now, up till now, I have made clear that how to plan and what happens when you just plan, how to plan a logic of a sequence specific SOP if is given, how you can actually go from the SOP to this truth table, and from this truth table you can move to this all the section, what we call this, by dividing your truth table in a specific manner that will help you to design the logic, and in ladder, and then it's function block diagram, and this is what STL as I mentioned, and after that this graph useful and this structure. Apart from this, if you want to learn if you want to learn how to develop, how to design, how we can intuitively design this truth table from here, how come I get to this thing and how come I get to this thing. If you want to know more about it, if you want to learn in very manner that you should be able to, if you want to provide or looking at an SOP, you have to design this thing. So what you can do, you can actually join our webinar series. We are planning a webinar series ahead of time right now, which will be specifically on Siemens PLC programming in TI portal and HMI designing, which will be a nominal fees course. It will be a certificate course again, and we are planning of specifically 2 batches, morning and evening for it. And yeah, in between, if you yes, Drumil, I will come to your concept. No problem. I am not leaving you. There are Q&A questions. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Now, in between, if you are interested to come to this designing specifically in a PLC programming design, and also you need to learn to program, because ladder is right now it's not that language which is limited, it's also powerful language. If you learn ladder in a good manner, actually very the beginning, when I started learning programming, I started with the ladder, and right now you can see the languages I can understand and I can program to a certain extent, which I have shown to you in presentation. And with this HMI designing, we'll also learn about that. If you want to participate in this, you can revert back to the mail in which you have received the link of this specific our webinar. Even you can contact me directly. I will share you that is at the end of this presentation. We are limiting to the batch of 20, size of 20. There will be 2 batches, morning and evening. There will be 6 webinars, 2 hours of teaching plus 1 hour of doubt solving. And these are the course description, which I am giving a very basic. We'll send you a formal offer, which will give you much in-depth detailed course description and about also the pricing. This is a certificate course, so at the end you will be provided a certificate based on the test score which you have done at the end for qualification for the certificate. So this will be this is our upcoming series, which are planning from the 20th of the coming this end of this month. So I hope if you are interested, let me know in this week, because if it is so, I am planning to do it starting it from the 20th of this month, which is the Monday, upcoming Monday. From Monday to Saturday, we can do this a small course which will help you not only to design, develop, understand, but also to understand how to use TIA portal and also design an HMI, and also to communicate in between them, and a program which will completely cover PLC and an HMI design. So that is our aim in the coming week. So if you are interested, let me know. And yes, as you know, which are very new to this presentation, these are the courses we offer from our for the academy. So you might have gone through this thing. You may go through this after the presentation is done. I will be uploading this video on the YouTube also. This is at HiMAC Academy. So as we're going to the certificate course, certificate might be a bit different in this online courses. And this is you can contact to us at this. So at this number, you may contact me at or WhatsApp me directly at this number, or you can just DM at directly HiMAC Academy for Instagram or Facebook. Also, as I'm right now for Q&As, I will just leave this slide for the contact, and let me just address some of the Q&As. So I will just unmute you all in between. You can write your concept in chat itself. Just that I will take the concept of It's a question of Drumil. I will just answer to him. It's a NO-NC concept for hardware. Okay. Why only NC is taken in hardware? Okay, Yes, Drumil. Let me just switch my screen. I will let you know. So yes, Drumil. As Drumil asked me, why NC is used for stop button. Reason is that in most of time, if you want to design a circuit, what would the best practice to design a circuit is to make it more focus it more towards safety. So for this purpose, for example, consider this is a card of my PLC. It's a input card. It's a PLC card. Okay, for example, if this is my input 1, for example, if I am connecting an NO button, for example, and if I am connecting, this is my input 2, and I am connecting NC button. What will happen? For very beginning, what will happen if the wire is cut from here? Will it indicate? Will the PLC will indicate this is my PLC? Okay, for example, this is in between some interface. This is what the output. Okay. So now, will this indicate? Will my PLC indicate this fault has occurred? It is not possible. Is it if my button is used NO type? What will happen if stop is NO type? There won't be if someone tries to press this stop. If someone tries to press this stop, no signal will go to my PLC. And what will happen? It will actually one won't be able to stop my logic. So that is a very risky kind of design. If in some case, for example, if wire break happens, so in this case, PLC will automatically stop the logic and indicating fault. So both the thing is possible with the help of this kind of button. So for safety purpose, we design using NC in case of emergency or stop. So I hope you may have got the answer why we are actually using it. There are some more questions in between. I hope Drumil, you may have got the idea to a very basic idea I'm trying to convey you. If yes, you can just type yes in.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, I will go to certain different clues. Okay, I will put my contact slide. Yes. Okay. There is any software page. Okay. Ruchit, I will answer to your question. Gaurav, if you take a PLC of any manufacturer, how many methods can be adopted to program it? To take PLC on yes, Gaurav, you can actually there are all these languages are IEC standardized, so you will find all the languages present in these PLCs. Not in all the PLCs, based on the marketing and the branding of a PLC. Even some of the brands provide the specific languages in specific models of their PLC. So based on that, you will find not all the languages are present in all the models of PLC. Even in Rockwell, even in Siemens, you will find some PLCs support only certain languages. Some of them only support SCL and ladder and FBD, but they don't support graph and STL. The PLC I used in this case to show you all the examples was the Siemens S7300 PLC. In that I have written all these codes and executed. So that PLC supports all these languages. There are some more controller which supports more than this. There is one other language called CFC, continuous flowchart. That is a high-end DCS level language that is also supported by the PLC. Yes, and I hope Gaurav you have got the answer. In how many ways method of program can be how many ways methods of program. Okay. So yes, let me just share my contact slide. We'll just come to the yes, and so now Ruchit, is there any software or web page where you can simulate, test or written codes? Right now there are certain free softwares which are available, but they are not actually allowing you to simulate to that extent to write a code. I don't remember some of them because I generally use the Siemens TIA portal, which is a licensed version. We also provide the trial versions to the students in case in our upcoming webinars we are going to provide the students the trial version of the software, which is of 21 days trial packs. So student will be able to test and simulate and write their codes. We'll be providing them link with those who are interested in webinar series. Let me know to this contact number. It's very it's not that much costly. It will be not more than it will not cost you much more, but that will be much more interactive than this. We'll be actually taking many questions and there will be two-way, and so Satish says, sir, in logic no need to reset timer. Satish, actually there are certain kind of timers in our logic. Some of the timers get automatically reset after the step has been done. Some of the timer need to be resetted. There are the timers which we call the there is an according to timer behavior. We need to consider them. We need to reset or we need not to reset. Just by taking out the input given to the timer, it automatically resets. Or when the step has been changed, the timer automatically resets. So that's why Satish, it is important to first understand the behavior of the instruction, the timers, or it might be any instruction, and then plan your program. That is important too. So then only you can understand. So we must reset or we must not. So depending on the type of timer we can use. Gaurav, again, could you provide the flowchart of all different PLCs in how many ways it can program? Gaurav, right now I have this flowchart present with me only about of Siemens, but of other brand I could provide you. You can just message me to my WhatsApp number. I will just provide you. I can provide you in 2-3 days about that. It is very easy. I may have some of them, but I'm not sure about it. Of how many PLCs do I have, but I will. Okay. How we know that PLC is good by any brand? Right now, it's the easiest way to if you want to go which PLC brand is good. Right now, if you are considering from the safety point of view, then you have to consider different brands of PLC which are very much good in providing safety kind of things. If you are planning for some high-end PLCs, then you need to do some market research. What are the brands which have that USPs or which have already done certain kind of, because even the hardware manufacturer of specifically PLC manufacturer doesn't claim 100% to what it provides, because of the reason they say it is always subjected to test. They already designed their that many good brands are available in the market. If you need to know how good they are and by what things you need to understand they are good. So for this purpose you need to go through the software they provide for you first of all for testing their hardwares, and also you can contact them directly on their websites, also by checking there are certain PLC forums in which you can ask people from which are actually they are using these PLCs or not, and you can know about them. So certain this kind you can know more about them. Vishal Kapadia is there, sir. Is there any logic part which reset timer in the middle of the operation means malfunction we face? Let me know. Yeah. So yeah. So most of the time I would say the Siemens is kind of good brand in this case. So actually Siemens provide the free software and the very most of them are very easy to understand. I would say the Siemens software is quite easy. First of all to the Satish. So Satish, please if you are going searching for this, I don't know, this is Satish or something. Yes, this is what, yeah. For the PLC by using good brand, you can go for that. Sir, is there any other? Viral says, sir, is there any logic part which reset timer in middle of the operation means malfunction we face this. Sorry, I am unable to understand, Viral. What you mean to say? Is there any logic part which reset timer in the middle of operation? Sorry, Viral, can you just convey me your question in different manner, because I'm unable to understand.
Hello.
Yes, Viral.
हाँ सर, एक्चुअली Siemens S7 PLC हमारे पास है in one of our machine in Thermex. So actually we are facing the issue, our angle timer which is connected to our encoder. Encoder gives bits and it convert to timer, but in between operation our timer is reset sometimes automatically, not every time but sometime.
Resetting of a timer may happen because of if there is some for example, if some input timer is kind of reset, which timer is used, if this is Siemens S7, so kind of just to define what kind of timer is a timer, on delay timer, off delay timer, or a pulse timer, or kind of timer, if you can define that.
It's a pulse timer.
Pulse timer. The pulse timer actually, when the pulse is received initially, when you just give your input from 0 to 1, it will work for a time which is defined it for. For example, I was using TP timer in one of my example. So if it is, I'm writing it's for a 10 second. So it will give me a pulse of only 10 second, not more than that. So it will automatically stop after the 10 second. Again, I need to give the pulse. So the timer works in this way. So it is automatically resetting. That is what the behavior of timer is. It is not resetting because of certain inputs or the malfunction of the hardware. It's resetting because of its nature of that kind. It resets after a pulse is given of specific time is defined of 10 seconds. So it will start for 10 seconds and automatically will get off. After that, if pulse is coming, then it will start again. So it is behaving this way. I hope you may have understand how this happens. And yeah, so look forward to join and know more about Siemens PLC. And if you want to actually, I will say this Siemens is quite good specifically in providing this kind of environment in which you can easily learn and program various languages. And we can also provide you free versions specifically in Siemens right now. So let me know if you're interested in my webinar series. So you can contact me for the webinar. So it's again a certified course. So let me know. I will just message. I will forward you my course details again in a more detailed form. And also I will mention there's not a much price. We will also provide a certificate at time. So it's about 6 webinars will be around 3 hours daily, evening and morning, 2 different batches at 2 different times. Hopefully, if you're interested, let me know about it. And contact me on WhatsApp, or you can just have your mail IDs. You can just, if you have mail from us, you can just revert back on our mail. Yes. In case if you have any difficulty with your machines, generally we recommend it to visit our site with our qualified engineer. That's our case. And yeah, what is the total duration of the course? Right now I am planning for 6 webinars, so you can understand 6 days and 3 hours daily for each batch. Yeah, I hope Gaurav you got the answer. You may contact Kiran sir in case if you need for the more information, and this is what the contact number is. So I hope I'm concluding my session, and I hope this might be more fruitful. You might have got the idea, a bit idea of designing. Understand once again, it's not any concretized way of designing a logic, but these are the certain steps which I have discussed, shared with you, that will help you to design your logic more in a good manner, in very easier manner, even to diagnose it and even to program it in different languages. So thank you all of you. In case, let me know. You can come in contact with my WhatsApp. Thank you all of you.